everybody, and thank you so much for coming back and joining me. My name is Miranda, CEO of Wise Accounting, LLC, and this series is about tax savings. We're going to discuss tax deductions and credit tips, okay? So, as I work through this presentation, I'll elaborate on each point of the deductions and credits. Um, Everyone's situation can be a little bit unique depending on how you file, your filing status. But again, if you have more questions, I would love for you to subscribe not only to the YouTube channel, but to my website, wiseaccounting, LLC.net. And you can also go to the book consultation for free and we can discuss your individual situation. So as I go to the next slide, what you need to know. Key points for tax saving. Well, it's important to have a tax strategy, a tax plan. I typically tell my clients at the last quarter of each year, you should be planning for the next year to come. So right now we are in the last quarter of 2020. So there are the new updated tax credits and deductions out there on the IRS website. Um, and for 2021, this is the time to put together a tax strategy, and I can help you with that. So I'll discuss that towards the end, of course, but let's get into what you need to know. You should have your goals set for you. Are you starting a new business? Are you enrolling in class or school or some type of educational course or training? Are you doing some home improvements to your home, to your business? Things of that nature. So all those items I just mentioned are deductibles. There are certain credits out there for you when you are going to school, when you are paying for these items. Okay. So also you need to track your money. Create, as I mentioned, a tax plan, but you also need to create a budget plan. What are you trying to accomplish? Um, the popular tax deductions and credits, we are going to go in depth with those. And again, if you have any questions, talk to us. Wise Accounting can assist you. As I mentioned, list your goals and be strategic in those goals, okay? Let's go. Game on. Now, as I discussed, track your money. Spending within your limits. Anybody knows what that means? You want to spend within your means. If you overspend more than what you can afford, you're not setting yourself up for success when it comes to financial stability. So let's just get into tracking your money. So you want to create a monthly budget, break down day by day what you're spending, what you're spending on. You want to look for ways to save on taxes throughout the year. So you want to track your spending. Um, so as I mentioned, you will need a tax strategy, a tax plan. And when you do that, prior to the year that you plan to go back to school or the expenses that you need to pay out for your home or things of that nature, it's always good to know what tax savings can you claim when you make purchases. Okay, let's see what's next. Our tax deductions for individuals. So with student loan interest, when you're going to school, it's very important to not only understand what um, taxes that you, or tax breaks, I should say, that you qualify for. So someone that is attending school or a parent that is paying for school, if you're paying for school for anyone, um, student interest is where you can also save. So it deducts up to 2,500 of taxable income if you pay interest on a student loan. Next is home office. How many of you all in 2020 had to work from home? had to run your business, operate your business from home. Okay, I'm sure most of us had to do that, correct? So again, this is a tax deduction for sure. When it comes to any business related activity that you do in your home, you will receive a tax break. It can be from utility bills, it can be from rent, real estate taxes, maintenance, or anything that is related to those expenses when you are working from home. I have more details on that. I will do an individual consultation with each and every one of you if you would like to know more regarding tax strategy and how we could implement some of these items into your future, okay? So next will be medical expenses. Now, there's a difference between medical expenses and medical premium insurance, but we're talking about medical expenses for deductions. um, One can qualify for an unreimbursed medical expense that they have spent more than 7.5% of their adjustable income. So, again, if you had any kind of surgery or a huge medical expense and your adjustable income is more than 7.5% of what you can afford that your medical expenses are, you will qualify, or at least can qualify, for a deduction there. Again, this will all depends on your filing status. So it'll be a individual based situation, okay? Now, when it comes to charitable donations, there are deductions there as well when you itemize out your charitable gifts that you may have paid to someone. If you were, such as clothes, a car, those are taxable incomes that we can use as a deduction, and for 2020. So with that being said, so to give you an example, you may had given someone, I say $300, okay? When you itemize those expenses that you paid out, that will subtract from your taxable income. So you will get a deduction for that, okay? Next we have mortgage insurance. If you own a home, you're paying mortgage insurance. That is also a deduction. You will receive a statement for that at the end of the year. You definitely want to present that to your tax professional because you will be, you can use that as a tax break. You're being taxed throughout the year. Take advantage of those deductions, okay? Now, someone brought this to my attention. One of the clients of mine had a little habit, so I figured I'd put it on my presentation. I don't know how many people out there that may have this habit, but gambling loss. Gambling loss is an expense. So it's interesting how that works. The deductible only can work is when you have wins and you spend $100 on a lottery ticket. That isn't that isn't deductible. That's not deductible. But say for instance that you reported that you won, um, but you also had a loss from that. You can record that loss as well, um, on your tax return. I have more details to that. Again, everyone's situation may be different based off of their filing status, based off of how much their actual income. So it's more details. If I broke down every detail, we will be on this presentation for about 4 hours or more. But again, if you have more questions, we can discuss that. So another common popular one is the IRA and a 401 contributions. So if you are setting yourself up for retirement, and you have these particular contributions that you pay to, these are deductions. These are deductible to your income when you file your taxes. Okay, as I mentioned for 401k contribution, if you were 50 or older and you paid up to 25,000 in that prior year, um, towards your contribution of your 401, you can definitely file a deduction on this one. Of course, there are some limitations set by the IRS that is subject to change from year to year, but this is definitely a deductible, um, for filing your taxes. Now, my wonderful educators out there, teachers, tutors, um, coach coaches, trainers, um, there are some deductions that you qualify for as well as being an educator. So let's talk about that. A lot of us had to work from home, but we also had to homeschool our children. I'm not sure what the plan is with the IRS making some alterations there for the additional expenses that we had to incur to buy supplies to teach our children. However, for 2020, as it already states out there, is that the school teachers who are eligible and eligible educators, they can deduct up to $250 of their spending on classroom supplies. So that's a good one. They should change that amount because $250 is not a lot, but it is a taxable deduction, that you can use, and it is a tax saving. So that's most important. Okay, so let's move on. Credits. Tax credits for individuals. We know that the most popular one here, if you have children, our child tax credit, our earned income credit, our child dependent care credit. Let me elaborate a little bit on the child dependent care credit. Now, we know if the child is under 18 or 17, that there is, they're depending on us to still take care of them if they're over 18, if they're in college. There, that will depend. That would completely depend on a few different factors. Again, I would discuss more with my client at that time when I'm preparing their taxes. There's a series of questions that I need to ask to ensure they qualify for that child independent credit. And the dependent can be an older person as well, over the age of 18. I had a few clients that they were taking care of their brother and they were about 50 years old. They were eligible for that credit based off of their situation. Um, Again, I would elaborate on a series of questions just to see if you qualify for these credits. The lifetime learning credit. So if you are attending school, um, you can claim up to 20% of the first 10,000 that you paid towards tuition and fees. That's great. So, parents out there or individuals out there that is paying for tuition and fees, this is information that you want to ensure you explain to your tax professional. If you have a really good tax professional, that is filing your taxes, they will ask you questions to maximize your tax return. I for sure ensure to ask you those questions because these are credits that will save you money in taxes. Okay. Okay, guys. Another pretty good tax credit is our residential energy credit. Have you ever purchased like a washer and dryer, an HVAC system, something major may have went out at the house, and you're like, okay, I hope I can write some of this off. Well, let's look at your situation. I would love to discuss that with you in depth. But there are some, things that you can definitely get up to 30% of the installation cost written off. So, so things of like solar energy systems or solar water and heater, panels or systems. Those are items that save energy. Um, and again, that save energy on your utility bills as well. So you kind of, it's a good thing to switch out and upgrade as long as you're saving money, correct? So again, I would love to explain more in detail when you book your consultation and we start that tax plan. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. That will conclude our tax credits and deductions series. So again, we are a virtual tax and accounting firm based out in McDonough, Georgia. You can always visit our website at www.wiseaccountingllc.net, and please follow us on social at Wise Accounting LLC. Thank you and have a great one.
Okay, now that you have this knowledge, please apply it to your tax strategies. If you do not have a tax strategy, I can help you with that. Please apply it to when you think about making purchases throughout the year, years meaning currently in this last quarter and in the future. These different methods you want to practice, or at least be ahead of the tax game out here. Um, we don't want to leave money on the table. I'm a tax professional, certified pro, so I definitely want to maximize your return and reduce your tax liability. So, how you can reach me is at wiseaccountingllc.net is my website. I would love for you to subscribe. When you subscribe to the website, you'll get updates, you'll get tips on tax and accounting. You will also get information on offerings that we may offer, maybe